Yeah. Thank you for including me. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
my pleasure.
So our next poet of the night is Raza Ali Hasan. Raza Ali Hasan is the author of 3 books of poetry: Grieving Shias, 767 Mongol Miniatures, and Sorrows of the Warrior Class. His poems have appeared in, I think it's Agni or AGNI, Shenandoah, and Crazy Horse. A small selection of his poems have been archived on the Poetry Foundation website. Currently, his 4th book, The Mystery of PDE, with tropes and topics from elementary calculus and physics, is under review at Poetry Presses. He is originally from Pakistan and came to America in 1991. He has a bachelor's in computer science and a master's in English from University of Texas at Austin. He received his MFA in poetry from Syracuse University. He teaches in the English department at the University of Colorado at Boulder. Whenever you're ready.
I just said, all right. Thank you so much for the introduction. And thank you, Faliha Hassan, for reading. And Fa, like your poem. And New Jersey, way cooler than Californians. Because you guys have the weather and they have nothing. You have everything.
We
So
have nothing
anyways,
but the
on that
Sopranos.
note,
Ooh.
so I'm gonna move. Yes, Fa, you win. Californians are cooler than you because they did invite me. So I don't know. So it gets confusing. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. Uh, and so I'll be reading, and so the text will be right there in front of you. So the first, this, uh, well, when I move to the poems that have not got published, I'll tell you guys. So this is my book, and you don't have to buy, just email me and I can send you the PDF. You'll save $17. So this is my last book. That is, it's not bad. Okay, now let's do this. I'm going to, so can everybody see, is that the font? Okay, so for this, no introduction. All you need to know, oh, did I do that? Yeah, 1 second, here we go. So here's the plate, make this bigger. And so this is Behram Gur. This is his consort, Azada. And then these are the animals that he's shooting at. And so keep this image in your mind. And so the sonnet is based on that image, and it's actually a rhyming sonnet. So for this book, I went formal, and I did metrical stresses and all of that, iambic, pentameter, all that stuff. And so my favorite, uh, I'll just do one last thing before I start reading. My favorite rhyme is riding and darling. No, was something else. Anger and fear, maybe? I don't know. All right, I'll stop right now. Let's keep going here. So Behram Gur and his consort. Soon after, the pair of gifted lovers materialize on a paste stone, shallow bowl, riding a blue one-humped camel. Behram Gur is shooting gazelles and has taken up his darling Azadeh's ill-conceived challenge: mutilation, sex change, and the grotesque. The slave girl, his heart's delight and desire. His bow in motion, demonic, at her service. Before she could pluck a string, zing went his arrows. A male gazelle turned female, a female male, and a foot pinned to another's ear. She had been only facetious. Her prince, pale, demonic, possessed. She said as much aloud in fear. Class conscious, slighted, swift with his bow in anger, he threw her from the camel and trampled her. So this is based on Shahnama, and the idea in Shahnama is to teach our rulers how to behave, I guess. All right, so this is my first poem, and this is again from Sorrows of the Warrior Class, and that's the image. And who was Behram Gur? And he was an actual Sasanian king in Iran back in the day. Here we go. 15 Sasanian king of Persia, 420 to 448 AD. And Azadeh was perhaps a real person too. All right, so next is, I'll be done really fast, so that's a good thing. This is called Bhutto's sleep disorder, and this is on Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, uh, Benazir Bhutto's dad. And in 1970s, the military government, the dictatorship of Ziaul Haq, they arrested him and hanged him. And then what else do you guys need to know? And Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was Berkeley and Oxford University educated, left-oriented prime minister, and that did not save him from getting murdered. All right. So they arrested him and he was locked up in a prison, according to the poem, in Lahore. So this is his time in prison. Bhutto's sleep disorder. At Kot Lakpat, actually I had a timer, turned my timer on here, sorry. At Kot Lakpat, Lahore howls and bellows from Godhead, hothead to softhead. 50 lunatics slip in and out of Bhutto's interned, sleep-deprived, screaming head. On the roof, like a continually struck bell, pitch pebbles become the junta's voice, pumped into Bhutto's 7 by 10 death cell. But the preferred instrumentation of choice is the never-ceasing thudding of heavy boots. The prison guards going up and down the steps of a nearby parapet. The junta persecutes, it turns out, under such makeshift precepts. At the end of a whole year of this, Bhutto, ordered to appear early in the morning, seeing this to be yet another blow, felt dizzy in the seemingly widening courtroom scene, the deafening justices, and antiphonal German requiem on the upsweep had become the timpani, the kettle drums. My lord's early riser, I'm not permitted to sleep. Right? And so the last line is, spoken by Bhutto. And then this is another poem from Shahnama, based on this image, and as I said earlier, on the catalog notes. Ferdowsi, I think, is this guy with the red robe, but I see another red robe. And in the poem, I call the grass or the ground pale blue. So I might have used some other image. So now I'm kind of confused what I did. But the poem it's one of my favorite poems in this book because I rhyme hick with Firik. That has never been done before. So that was a joke. But anyway, so let's hick and Firik. Well, hicks are permanent part of our landscape. Anyways, let me drink because I am getting nervous. All right, so Ferdowsi, suitably rebuffed. Sultan Mahmud Ghaznavi's steeply sloping pale blue garden, the three-court poets Ansari, Asjadi, and Faruqi, dismissive of Ferdowsi's brilliant response or his hopes or his red robe. Mahmud's refusal of patronage is legendary. He was not suitably impressed. The Sultan, with his 17 raids, his unpopularity with the Hindus of Hindustan, knew of the utter unsuitability of the Shahnama. He was no hick, each victory of Rustam or Sarab Firik, their battlefield skill or valor only a cry mixed up with the 9th century bleakness of an old Zoroastrian's "the world passes from us." This is when the Arab conquest of Iran happened, and Persian culture was under attack for a while. All right, this is another sonnet. And how are we doing on time? We're doing pretty good. Okay, this is Navtex Cinema, which I actually used to go. So I used to line up in the summer, in the heat, buy the cheapest tickets and watch American movies. Right there in Islamabad, trying to become westernized or something like that. And this poem is about the Cold War and all of that stuff. So, Naftak Cinema. And so this happens in Islamabad, Pakistan. Willy-nilly, lines formed for American movies, disciplined for cheap proscenium seating, penned in the scorching mid-afternoon breeze. Last chance for many to see the nation-building epic Eagle has landed at the state-built cinema. Demons and furies fly out when the ticket window opened, only to enrage. Lines fall apart and redemption pushed out to another matinee. Charlton Heston's Ben-Hur, whose all-healing miracle, rain-ending, mirrored the outside's sacral weather. At our exit, the sky thundered, unleashing the 5 p.m. downpour, Quranic, biblical, the city blurry with wonder-struck poplars. The idea is that for Pakistanis, Western literature and media and film, all of that, it doesn't really help us. It helps Westerners affirm their power. And so it's kind of like a rejection of Westernization, which is a bad thing, and it's a good thing at the same time, modernization, all of that stuff. All right, so let's move on. Now, this is from my manuscript, which is out at Copper Canyon. They still haven't rejected the manuscript. So I sent that in, make this, yeah, here we go. I sent out the manuscript in June. If they were going to reject it, they would have done it by December. This is January. So this is from my new book, The Mystery of PDE. PDE stands for partial differential equations, if you guys need to know. All right, so this is on Prize in Physics with Steven Weinberg and Sheldon Glasgow in 1979. So Abdus Salam is one of those people who is not just any Nobel Prize winners. He's like in the top 20 physicists ever to live. So it's kind of cool that a Pakistani ended up being one of the smartest people or most brilliant person around. All right, so on Salam. Abdus Salam International Center for Theoretical Physics is where many third world physicists come to attend seminars and classes in theoretical physics every year. And so this is, think of 1980s Pakistan for this one, where the whole Shia Sunni thing went crazy, Ziaul Haq basically. That's when I was growing up. It just traumatized me completely. So let's see. In the Inquisition state, only a trafficking in scientific ideas. Innumerable habitable worlds, illimitable universes. Careers made, unmade. In Rome, Giordano Bruno, See Ascent of Man with Jacob Brunensky, or the animation in Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson. In Pakistan, Abdus Salam, hounded out of Pakistan. Cold War, no animation available, no science documentaries, no evidence of recent science activity, at least not in science documentaries. Only Cold War